Welcome to a Fifth Jack Gaming, and it is the first Wednesday of the month. So what does that mean? That means we go through our haul. This goes through everything that we ended up picking up last month, aka the month of April, and this ends up going over and seeing what we ended up picking up. We might have got it from OPB, which if you do go shopping at OPB, use our code of Fifth Jack to save $2 off, or if you have 4 or more books, use the code Jacket Together to save 5% off your entire order instead. Orders up $30 or more, ends up getting some free media mail shipping, so you end up getting those books nicely protected, sent right over to you. Alright, so let's go over what we end up picking up. So we normally would have a nice little system picked up from our Illuminati, which is going to be manga. Then we have independent, DC, and then we finally finish off with Marvel. That's going to end up wrapping up everything that we end up picking up throughout the entire month of April. So dive in and see what we ended up picking up. So we have no manga. I didn't pick up any more Berserk or anything like that. That's going to be coming down the horizon at some point once I get caught up with the books and be thinking about picking that up. Right now I got to focus on my comics. Got to be able to get it because there's a lot of stuff that's coming out that I really want to pick up. So with that said, I ended up picking up the art book for the Masters of the Universe Revelations. I think this is the latest. It looks like the latest possible. No, it's the one that's in between because there's 3 different ones. There's Revolutions is the latest. This is the middle one. This is the second one. This is playing off from Kevin Smith's run on the Netflix show that they ended up making, and that continues from their original series. Quick thing, some of the original voice actors from the original show is also in this. Well, in this series. Because like Mossman, for instance, that's in this series, was actually the original voice for Skeletor, so you end up having that's going on there. I have to say, I've loved the series. I've watched it many times. Maybe that might be a future that we end up carrying over. But I wanted this to be able to be set on the table with something that we can end up thumbing through. Alright. That's a little unique book that we ended up picking up. And as you know, we went in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle train trying to pick up all the IDW, which we are caught up with. There is a new one that has came out that we haven't picked up yet, but there's a second one coming out in a couple months, and that's going to be going on for sale. So that means we picked up Teenage Mutant Turtles, the Mirage Years from 1993 to 1995. This piggybacks off the end of the compendiums that we end up having. No. You stay off the computer. This continues off that line to wrap up their Mirage Years of the entire series that we end up having. Next up is a couple library editions. So these are going to be the bigger books that we end up having. We picked up the 4th volume of Avatar, Smoke and Shadow. I wanted to go over at 4 because I think 4 different volumes. This is a thing that I picked up for the family because they ended up liking Avatar. I wasn't sure if they'll end up picking it up. And 4 is a nice round number, and 4 is my lucky number, so I figured I'll take a chance and pick this bad boy up. Now the next one is for any kind of a critter that's out there. Because if you don't know what a critter is, that's someone that's from Critical Role that loves them, that becomes little critters, because this is going to be the Mighty Nine Origins Volume 2. This is definitely something that we're going to end up covering. That's going to be on the channel, and we're going to review it. We're probably going to knock it out as quick as we can. And if it's not already out, honestly, I might already have a video that I'll be dropping with this. I'm excited to see how this goes over with it. And if you don't know what Critical Role is, it's when voice actors end up playing D&D or Dungeons and Dragons with their different characters. This is their second campaign is what this is. First campaign is going to be Vox Machina, which was amazing, and that's my favorite one out of all 3 of them. They had the one wrapped up with Hell's Bells, and they also ended up having crossovers that had all 3 of the crossovers, or all 3 of the people from the campaigns in there. So this is given origins for the second campaign of the Mighty Nine. This is going to cover Mollymauk, Tea Leaf, Beauregard, Ford, and Mr. Clay. Cassius Clay. Excited to be able to do that. Has a lot of stuff. If you end up going down that rabbit hole to watch that, that's all on YouTube. It's Critical Role. You can end up finding it off your different podcasts too. All right, so that covers the Independence. Independence covered. Done. It was a shell of a time when it was lasting. But now we're in DC. And we had a couple little books that we came over from Organic Price Books, which we're going to do a special event that's going to go on with it. So the first book is going to be a standard hardcover, which is Batman 3 Jokers. So what we're going to be doing with this bad boy is we're going to end up giving this away at the first 250 subscribers that we end up having. Then we're going to give this away. Sadly, that's going to have to be in the United States. But once we hit that mark, we'll end up having a review video. And then that review video will have you end up putting in some kind of a comment. And we'll end up trying to figure it out how that's going to end up going. But like I said, this is the goal for 250. And it's going to be something exciting. So, and then the next book is going to be a deluxe. And what we're going to end up doing is at 500 subscribers, we'll give this book away, which is going to be the deluxe version of Batman The Long Halloween. This is going to be something that's going to be given away at 500 subscribers, and that'll be going your guys' way. We'll cover this book. Well, we're going to cover that book at a different time because later on, I got a nice little treat that we ended up picking up. Finally, but not least, is we're going to have a nice comparison video coming between the older print and the newer print of the New Frontier. And whichever one doesn't end up winning to be able to stay in the collection, we'll end up giving that away in 1,000 subscribers. That's right, 1,000 subscribers, and you can end up possibly winning this. We're going to have some other things that's going to be going on with the 1,000 subscribers as well. So, what we're going to end up having to do is going to have those likes, got to have those shares, guys, having you guys suggest their friends so we can end up going over there and having these different giveaways to be thanking you guys for all the help. But that's not all that we end up having in our haul. What we end up having is also Scout Volume 2. This is the Omnibus Volume 2 that we end up having. And this is going to end up covering the last part of the sculpt that we ended up needing. This is by Jason Aaron, so it's something I haven't even read. I've heard it's a little violent and a little more of adult-ish, so it's going to be something exciting. But I also heard this is the best run for Jason Aaron as well. Didn't realize I had the mic all the way over that way. Now, we've read Mr. Miracle. We had a couple other things with the Fourth World, and this has me super excited to be able to read. Give you a heads up though, this is a little bit big, or this is definitely a big guy, and we have the Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus. We ended up picking this up and to be able to dive into that Fourth World to get a little bit more background behind the Fourth World and the different characters that are there. Loved Mr. Miracle, and I love to be able to find out what was happening and how that came around. And I think this is going to be old. Jake from Brave and the Boys kind of like ended up talking me into picking this bad boy up, because he's like, well, if you're interested, you might as well pick it up. Plus, OPB had a nice sale going on. So it was a win-win situation with that. Next up is our last DC book that we have, and that's going to be Batman by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb Omnibus. So this is going to end up here having that entire Long Halloween and stuff like that. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to end up reviewing this in the month of October. Well, why? Because there's Halloween that's in there. So maybe they can end up having a little bit of fun flavor thing that on Halloween we'll have this drop down and be able to break down and how we end up thinking about it and if it should be something that's picked up. Now this is more of like an evergreen book, but it's pretty solid to be able to pick up. And don't mind my new little assistant that we end up having. He's popping in, popping out. He's a little kitty. He needs a little bit of attention. So that's why we're going to end up going a little bit crazy with it. But now since we wrapped up DC, wrapped up Independence, wrapped up most of the stuff, let's dive into Marvel. Let's see what kind of sauce we have cooking over this way. We're going to start off with our Ultimate Marvel by Jonathan Hickman. This is adding more to our Marvel or Ultimates line. And it also ends up taking a book that was on our hit list and ended up being a hit with it. Nice solid pickup, nice solid way to end up going with it. Next book is going to be Web of Spider-Man. I think that this is going to be exciting because I read it once and I'm not sure about it, but it also has Kraven's Last Hunt. This is a direct market cover, I believe, and I had to pick it up. This is definitely the cover I wanted, and this is the cover I had to have. It's a nice solid book, is what I've been told, and it's going to be sneaking right on over behind me in a nice little spot for this bad boy. So the next few books is going to end up being something that you've probably seen on the hit list. So that means we're going to have a nice old taken down video that's already filmed, shown, whatever it is. But we got New Mutants Volume 3. I think this is a direct market cover, if I'm not mistaken, where we have Shaw versus Magneto fighting it out or duking it out. And the main reason we ended up going this route is because of Magic. We have Volume 1, which is the start of Magic. We have Volume 2, which is her grown. And we have Volume 3, which wraps up the entire Magic experience that we end up having. It's a nice little way that goes over with this. Granted, it is Claremont, so it's going to end up being wordy and all that. But we're going to have a heck of a time with that. Then we also picked up Black Panther by Christopher Priest, Volume 2. We have Volume 1, but we ended up picking up Volume 2 while the OPB had that nice sale that's going on. Most of these books that we ended up picking up was because of that sale that we ended up having a nice screamy deal that we were able to use our discount code on top of. I'm excited because now we have the complete run of Christopher Priest, and that wraps up some more stuff that we had to wrap up the collection with. Continuing off the hit list is going to be it's not a volume, it's Thor by Cates and Klein. This is during this aspect when Cates ended up having his accident, but I read this in singles and it was amazing. I love this. I love this way over the Hulk. And to be completely honest, we see a new powered up Thor that we didn't see up before. I believe this is going to be my last Thor omnibus because I'll have all the way from JMS all the way over to Cates now. And that would be just enough. Well, honestly, it's a little bit over enough, but it's a good old run that we end up having. You also get the Dark Winter, and we can end up getting a few other things that's also inside this book. And I'm excited to be able to reread it, and maybe it might be a review down the road. It was also on the hit list. But you know what? We have one final book for you. We're going to have a book that goes over with one of the books that we've already ended up showing off with the haul. What is it? Who is it? Why did we pick it up? Well, give me a moment and we'll have the answers to all those questions. Okay, who is it and what is it? Well, it's Thor by Walter Simonson. This is going to be what starts the entire run of Thor that we have in our collection. This is going to start off with going right in front of our JMS, and then we're going to have a nice solid run with it. And if you know me, I had to get the one that has the Beta Ray Bill cover. I love Beta Ray Bill, and that's a big thing that they have in this book. I haven't read it, but I'm excited that I'm going to be able to read it, and I'm excited to actually have that complete run of Thor that's going to be in that collection. So that's the haul. What did you guys pick up throughout the entire month of April? Let us know of some of the stuff that you ended up picking up. Is there anything that should have been on our radar that we should have picked up? Let us know down in the comments down below as well. If you're liking the content we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified whenever we come out with new content. Also, I forgot. I also dove in and I picked up my first Marvel premiere just to see how it is. And I had a nice deal on it. It was the Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet. Ta-Nehisi Coates as the writer. And I'm kind of excited to be able to read that because I've been hearing good things about it. And this, I have to say, thumbing through it, this premiere is amazing. A, it's in color. B, it's in decent enough size. And C, it has extras in it. So I'm excited to be able to break that down at some point as well. So I want to say thank you for watching, and let's not forget we have the goals that we have set it up. We got the hardcover of 3 Jokers at 250. We hit that, and we'll have a review, and that would end up getting that going on. And then at 500, we're going to be giving away a deluxe copy of The Long Halloween. And then at 1,000, we're also going to be giving away a copy of The New Frontier, where we end up having whoever ends up, well, not making it to the collection, but will be heading over to your collection. Also, with 1,000 subscribers, we're going to end up having a few other gifts that's going to be going over with that. But I just want to highlight this because this is something that was given over by the OPB, our channel affiliate. And I want to say thank you for that. And thank you guys for end up watching. And I definitely can't wait to see what we end up having for the future. Thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll see you later.